We are going to talk about former, current, and prospective lover dragons.
And I want to talk about what we have learned in 15 years.
Well, the dragons come from Your Brain is Always Listening, out March 2nd. And one of my favorite stories comes from your book, The Relentless Courage of a Scared Child. This is the only time ever we have released two books virtually at the same time. And Your Brain is Always Listening is about the dragons that breathe fire on your emotional brain. And there's just not a more powerful dragon than the lover dragons. They are the most emotionally charged of all dragons, which is why they can make you more upset than any of the other ones, especially when the relationship goes sour.
Yes.
That's where the whole murder-suicide stuff happens.
Oof, scary. Well, there's no more dangerous call than for police officers, right? That's one of the most, not the most, but it's one of the most dangerous calls are domestic violence.
Right, and it's just because of when you get attached, you know, people say, I love you with all my heart. And it actually has very little to do with your heart. It's your brain. That's what you fall in love with, is your brain.
That's a little weird, though. I love you with all my brain.
I know, but that's the truth.
But it's odd.
Or when you were torturing me and you would go
away. I did
away.
Not torture him.
She so did. She's lying.
And yet here you are.
She's lying because 5 cards changed everything.
And yet here you are.
But you didn't break my heart.
Right.
You broke my brain.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay. Well, apparently it is repaired. So.
It has been repaired. And you want to tell the 5-card story, or shall I?
We'll do it together, because I'm sure I'm going to interject. You're going to start, and I'm sure I'm going to stop you many times along the way.
So when we were first dating, Tana was getting out of a bad relationship.
Bad marriage. It was bad. Bad divorce.
And you can see, I mean, she's beautiful. She's smart. She's caring. She's a neurosurgical ICU nurse. I was completely smitten. Dopamine had hijacked my brain. And I
tried to tell you I was not ready. I tried to tell you you want no part of this, and you just did not.
Well, apparently I did. Because besides the first year, it's the best relationship of my entire life. You are the best friend I've ever had.
Me too.
And so anyways, she was always coming, going.
And he obviously could see something about me that I could not see. And that was what was cool. So.
And I saw her brain, which is very important.
Yeah.
Right? Wait, if I'm dating someone, I have to see their brain.
And he did get credit for the coolest line I'd ever heard. I've heard a lot of lines. And I need to see your naked brain. That just takes it. Well,
it's the most important part of you I wanted to see.
Yeah. So
anyways, this is on one of those times she said we had to take a break and we couldn't talk to each other for 2 weeks. But then we agreed to meet. And
so no. He called me and he said, I need to see you. And I'm like, oh, here we go. In my head, I'm like, oh, he's going to be controlling. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. He's going to do what, all the things that I was expecting him to do based on my past relationships. So that's my past dragon, my past lover dragon.
No, well, that would be your past lover dragon.
So I'm like, he's going to be, and I halfway, like I was expecting him to do it. So I was already ready with a plan. He's going to do that. And I'm going to tell him there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. So that was going to be my escape, was because I was sure he was going to do that. Only he didn't. He always did the opposite of what I expected. He always surprised me. So that's one thing about Daniel.
Well, and thinking of I just cared about her. And, she was with me or not with me was sort of okay. And that's how you know you really care about someone. It's not just about, it was about what was good for both of us. And so I went to the card store for our lunch and I picked out 5 cards. we got to lunch, because she's expecting, you know, it was going to be an
The big drama
ultimatum.
thing.
And I just handed her 5 cards and I said, pick one. And
So the first one was, we were like ships passing in the night. It was good while it lasted, but we're not going to see each other again, blah, blah.
it was a sympathy
It was a
card.
sympathy card. Yeah. And then,
Like somebody had done.
right. And then the second one was just be friends. And he said, I'd rather have you in my life as a friend than not have you at all. And that was the one that really touched me, because I thought, I know this is not what he wants, but he's willing to be my friend, even though that's not what he wants. And that's the one that really got to me. The third one was, let's be friends with benefits. I can't. Oh, that's so cool. Let's read that in a second. He said, let's be friends with benefits. And that made me laugh, of course, because that's the Daniel I know. The fourth one was, let's be committed, and let's be in a committed relationship. And the fifth one was like, let's live together and plan on getting married. And he's like, you choose. And so, of course, I was not ready, but I chose number 2. I chose let's be friends, but I knew it was with, I at that moment, I figured this is probably going to be more, but it was the fact that he was so unselfish that's it really touched me. And so for about 2 months we were friends, but it was during that time that we were friends that I really fell in love with him, because I had to test it. I didn't trust myself, so how could I trust you? I didn't trust anything at that point, and I needed to be able to see that you were sincere. And it was during that point that, and I called him every day. We met every day for lunch. And so I'm like, we spend every day together. Like, this is so silly, but that's when I really,
you would tell me about your dates.
yeah. And he'd tell me about his. It was really silly, but that was when I really fell in love with him, because I'm like, this isn't what he wants, but this is what he's willing to do. And it was really cool. So I have to read something really cool, because I keep talking about this woman and I can't see because I don't have my glasses on. Yeah.
Winifred Ariai.
Yeah.
Hello, Tana. I am the Nigerian woman who you met at the John Maxwell IMC event in 2019. I have a copy of your book. It is very good. My acronym to heal the brain is called Kill the Ants and Eat the Pies. Ants, automatic negative thoughts. Pies, physical, inspirational, express gratitude and social engagement.
So I love this. And I don't know if you know this, Winifred, if you've heard me yet or not, but I've spoken about you a lot. You were one of the inspirations for me following through with my book, because I actually almost didn't. So I was on the deal was on the table, and I thought, you know, I really don't want to put all of this out there. And when you came up to me and you started to cry and you said, I pray every day that God will do for my life what he has done for yours. And if you can do it, I can do it. And I thought, I haven't really told people very much about my life yet, but that really inspired me. So thank you. You are one of the big inspirations for me following through.
Isn't there a chapter in your book about me?
About you? Yeah. And how we met?
Is it Out of the Darkness?
No, it's
Can I
see your brain?
And then 5-card draw.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole little chapter
on the 5-card draw.
5 cards. So what have you learned? I mean, you know, we all have in our heads our former lover dragons, and
they unfortunately,
they can
affect
chatter
Yeah.
at you a lot.
Breathe fire
and
scream at you.
Yeah. And
they did for me.
Oh no, mine too. I mean, they were so painful.
Yeah. And you don't want to ever do that again. It's like touching a hot stove.
Well, and for you, see, I had, after my divorce, I married my childhood sweetheart, and I was so miserable that I didn't trust myself.
That's how I felt. I didn't trust. If I couldn't trust myself, how was I going to trust anybody else?
Right. And so I knew that about you. And that just gave me pause and patience. So one of the big lessons that have made 15 years amazing is it's not all about you. If you can be thinking about what's going on with the other
you were very
person,
patient. Yeah.
You're just more likely to have a good relationship if it's not all about you.
Yeah, it was really good. I've learned not only to trust, but I think one of the big things I've learned that has made the relationship so great. I mean, you're the first man I really truly trusted, but also when things aren't perfect, when we have an argument or a disagreement, I always step back and think, what's his intention? I know your intentions are positive. So if your intentions are positive, then it's a misunderstanding. So if I come at it from that perspective, it's like, I know his intentions are positive. I know he loves me because I trust him. Then that changes how I see the argument.
It's so helpful. That mindset is just so important. If you have a negative mindset toward the other person, no matter what it is they do, you'll be upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, just something simple. If you say, oh, you look really nice today. A lot of people go, well, I didn't look nice yesterday. And I'm just like, stop that. What else?
What else?
So we're very focused. We did this early on in our relationship. You should do this too. Know your goals.
Oh, yes.
What do you
We
want?
actually go over them a lot.
And our goal together, kind, caring, loving, supportive, passionate relationship. And always want that. Always. Don't always feel like that. Get these rude thoughts in my head. And most of the time, not always, most of the time, I don't say them. Most of the time, you don't say every stupid thing you think.
I think that's a big lesson, I think, for me too, and probably in most successful relationships. You don't need to say everything you think.
You know, I must say this with my patients 4 or 5 times a week. You do not have to say everything you think.
And people confuse this. I get this on my page sometimes. When I talk about boundaries, people confuse this. They will often say, but wait, you just told us it's important to draw our boundaries and speak up for ourselves. Speaking up for yourself when it's important and drawing boundaries is not the same thing as saying the dumb thoughts that come in your head. Let's be clear. So there are some thoughts you just don't need to say out loud. So
Jerry Seinfeld once said, the brain is a sneaky organ. We all have weird, crazy, stupid, sexual, violent thoughts that nobody should ever hear. So I constantly filtering my thoughts is, does this help me? Does this help Tana? Is this going to further our relationship or damage our relationship? Being goal-oriented is so important. Being goal-oriented. So knowing what you want, closeness, love, and then acting in ways. And I always love what you say about responsibility. It's, you know, because people go, oh, relationships are 50-50. And like, no, they're not. They're 100-100.
Yeah, I agree.
And what are you doing that makes your partner crazy? You want to stop that. I know how to make her yell at me under 10 seconds.
When was the last time I've yelled at you?
Well, it's because I know.
Because you're a smart man.
How to make you yell at me.
Right.
But I choose not to do it. I know how to make her smile.
You do.
And I choose to do that. And she's so manipulative that it has turned out I make her latte in the morning. I make her shake. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this pandemic. I make this great brain healthy hot chocolate at night. But I like serving her. I like making her.
I like it too. I have to show them. So he got me this amazing dragon necklace. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's a dragon necklace for Christmas.
I'll show here.
It's super cute. And then for Valentine's Day, he found the earrings, and they're kind of hard to see, but they literally match the necklace. They're super cute. So it reminds me of my dragons. Apparently I'm the poster child for dragons. I've got 10 of them. So yeah, so I've got my little dragons.
So it doesn't matter the number of, if you want to know your dragons, go to knowyourdragons.com. You can take our online quiz and know which of the dragons from the past that you have. And we would just dearly love you to get a copy of my book, Your Brain is Always Listening, Tame the Hidden Dragons That Control Your Happiness Habits and Hang-Ups, and Tana's book, The Relentless Courage of a Scared Child.
Someone wants to know about the Brain Healthy Hot Chocolate, and it's super simple. And if you want to do something really healthy for Valentine's Day, that's a really good thing. We should really what you do.
So Costco has this great organic vanilla almond milk that's very clean. So I heat up that. I get raw cacao, organic raw cacao, put a big heaping teaspoon in it. And we have chocolate stevia from a company called Sweet Leaf. And
if you like monk fruit, you can use monk fruit, whatever it is that you like that is, low glycemia.
But the chocolate stevia just makes the chocolate in the hot chocolate.
Yeah, but some people can't have stevia, so you have options.
And mix it up. It tastes delicious.
You can
use, literally.
You can also top it, for those of you who are like sugar-free keto, they have keto whipped cream. You can use just a little bit of like almond milk whipped cream, like something like that, or a coconut, just a little dollop.
So Taryn has a question. I've recently read that men don't mature emotionally until age 40 to 43. Do you think that's accurate?
Are we going by my experience or
emotional
science?
maturity is a huge factor in a successful relationship.
Oh my gosh.
Emotional maturity is a huge factor.
Yes.
Your brain is not even finished developing until you're 25. I think everybody's different. I know if I would have had you when I was 25, I'd have been great just because of how much I love you.
But it's not the same as when and here's the thing, like I know.
Well, but there's all sorts of things.
If I had dated you when I was 25, I would have messed it up. I would have messed it up. So there's no question. So I think that, because now I appreciate you, it's like there are times if I'm frustrated or if I'm, mostly I'm not, but there are days when really we're not doing anything, but I just feel so much gratitude for what we have in our relationship. And I don't know that I would have been like that when I was 25. So I don't know that I could have seen it or I could have, appreciated it because I was a mess. And any of you who have read my book, I was a mess when I was 25. But emotional maturity is great. And the question about do men mature later, that just made me laugh because I'm like, are we going, like I could talk to you about, is it based on my opinion and my experience or is it based on science?
Someone wants us to do a session on brain injuries and frontal lobe syndrome. Boy, this is why you do not let your children hit soccer balls with their head or play tackle football. Damage the frontal lobes. I think relationships really require frontal lobe where you can inhibit the crazy, weird, stupid thoughts that you get. But what I wrote about in the end of mental illness is we can repair frontal lobe damage, but you always have to put your brain in your husband. Was it love at first sight? Yes for me, no for her.
I don't believe in love at first sight because I'm too cynical.
But totally yes for me. Nurse and caring and bright, stunning. Yes.
So the expression trust but verify. Yeah, that's nonsense in my mind. It's like you need to verify, then re-verify, and then possibly trust.
But one of the words that really stood out for us is alchemy.
Yeah.
Because I totally had the dopamine rush with you.
Yeah, but
and you didn't with me. I'm cute, but not that cute.
Oh, sorry.
And but it's not about chemistry.
Yeah.
It's about alchemy. Can the two of you create something special? And
so this idea that if you don't have all like these like fireworks when you meet, it's never going to be something else. To me, that's always a red flag. At least in my experience, that's a red flag because it just those fireworks don't often lead to the thing that you're looking for long term. So I'm just one of those very suspicious people when it comes to.
Are you still suspicious?
No. Well, I've got eyes in the back of my head, so I don't need to be.
We wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. And, we love bringing this information to you. If you don't have the love in your life that you want, be patient and be out there. Right? you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Someone said, I see your maturity is yet to happen. What's it say? Your posts are what? Oh, okay. Someone doesn't like my post. Okay, that's
I
fine.
have no idea why they wouldn't. This was so cute.
And
we're going to come up with.
But that's fair. If you don't like our stuff, what you think of us is not our business.
Well, we're going to do the internet troll dragon coming up soon.
Yeah. I'm curious though. If you don't like it, why are you here? That's my question to you. Seems like a waste of your time. So, anyways, we wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day and enjoy your day. And we are going to go enjoy ours and get some lunch.
There we go. Bye, everybody.
Bye.